The Las Vegas Raiders have the number 1 overall pick. So coming up here, my Raiders mock draft 1.0 for the 2026 offseason. If you're ready to rock out with your mock out, hit that like button right now because the Silver and Black have 10 picks in total. The number 1 overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. I haven't been hooting and hollering for the number 1 pick for the last 4 months because of nothing. It's because I'm excited to get this team going in the right direction. So what we're going to be doing is this. I'm going to be talking to y'all about why I decided to go with each player. I'm not going to sit up here and lie to you. Never will do that on this show. I don't know a lot of these prospects as well as I will once the NFL Draft gets rolling. But if you're looking for more draft content from me, obviously you can hit that subscribe button. You can also, though, hit me up on social media. If you want to tag me in your mocks, at the end of the day, you spend time watching me, I'm going to spend time watching what y'all do. You can follow me and tag me on X, Twitter, MitchellRenz365. Same exact thing on Instagram. If you spend time watching my mock, then I'm going to spend time looking at yours. It's my promise to you. If me being live for 11 hours, 11 minutes isn't proof that I'm a man of my word, well then, you're probably just a hater. Let's go to pick number 1 here in the NFL Draft. And, oh my goodness, what a shocker. Indiana quarterback. Actually, I'm going to say this because I get chills every time I say it. With the first pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Heisman Trophy winner, Indiana quarterback, Fernando Mendoza. Oh my goodness, does it give you chills? And he is the number 1 pick. If you're the Raiders and you don't want to trade back, you better take this guy right here. He might be limited in certain areas from an athletic standpoint, but I'm so sick and tired of hearing he's not this, he's not that. You know what he is? He's a leader among men. You know what he is? He's a winner. And yeah, it might be one of the weaker Heisman classes in the past few years, but the job of a franchise quarterback, is to make everybody on your team better. And Fernando Mendoza has helped build Indiana's program. He has helped make everybody else around him better. And in the biggest situations, in the biggest moments of games, he's at his best. I want a quarterback, when he looks into the huddle, inspires confidence into everybody. He's a little quirky. He reminds me a little bit of Kirk Cousins in that regard. He reminds me a little bit of Jared Goff, honestly, but I think he's a little bit more of an athletic version of a Goff, might not have the arm talent. I don't know if he's ever going to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, but I do really, truly believe that his floor is safe. I understand that Raiders fans are afraid because the last time that the Raiders had to pick a quarterback at number 1, you went with Jamarcus Russell. That is the absolute complete opposite. But you know what I hear a lot? This offensive line stinks. In my mock draft that I have created here, this is a mock draft where the Raiders have already gone out and they have built their offensive line. But oftentimes I hear, well, how's he going to do against pressure because our offensive line's bad. Fernando Mendoza in high-pressure games has been unflippin' believable. And he doesn't always put up the greatest stats. But you know what he always seems to find a way to do? He finds a way to win. And when you look at the Indiana roster from top to bottom, there's no way anybody here can look at me and say they got a better roster than Ohio State. I don't think you look at me and tell me they got a better roster than Alabama. But sometimes guys are just put on this planet to frickin' lead people. And that's why I'm going to take Fernando Mendoza, number 1 overall in my very first Raiders mock draft. So here's going to be my question to you because it's got to be the question, right? The only way you're taking a guy at number 1 is if you're sold on him. I'm sold on Fernando Mendoza. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. Scale it from 1 to 100. 1, he's a bust. He stinks. He's Jamarcus Russell blank tapes. 100, he's the best quarterback prospect that you've seen in a long time. How sold are you on Mendoza at number 1? My answer is going to be coming up here after this YouTube ad break. I'm going to sit up here and I'm going to go, as a prospect on Mendoza, I'm probably like an 85. But the other reason why you should draft Fernando Mendoza, think about what John Spytek has said. Think about what Tom Brady has said. I also want you to think about what I've said. The reason why you go get Mendoza, look at the pieces that you have. You got Ashton Genty at running back. You got Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer at tight end. Again, I've already told you in my mind entering the draft, I'm building a great offensive line. That is the recipe for success. Whoever our new head coach is, I hope that you build around what you have. instead of forcing guys into a system. But I'll say this, with what we already have, the best quarterback to fit with what we have, Fernando Mendoza. Let's go to pick number 36 in round 2. I'm going to go with Amari Washington, defensive tackle from Oregon. We have to be able to replace Christian Wilkins. I don't know what the whole Wilkins situation is. Don't ask me. But 6'3", 330-pound, an absolute mauler in the interior. Can't wait to watch to see what he looks like up against Fernando Mendoza. But this is a big boy, and I'm somebody where I want to win in the trenches. In the offseason, if we don't invest in guys that put their hand in the dirt, we don't have the right mentality. We got to put a plan together. And I want somebody that makes Max Crosby the best version of himself. I get we got Tonka Hemingway. I get we got J.J. Pegues. But this is a team that needs interior help. And I promise you this, if I was in the war room with Spytek and Brady, if I'm in the offseason with those guys, I will invest in the trenches. Why? Because I feel like when you invest in the trenches, it makes all the other players around you better. And we're going to have a lot of other younger guys stepping into some big roles. You make the guys in the trenches work, makes everybody else around you a little bit better. For that reason, in the 3rd round, at pick number 67, I'm going to go with Akheem Mesidor, edge from Miami. A lot of attention, and there's, for good reason, goes to Ruben Bain Jr. I think he's the best edge rusher in this year's class. But from Akheem Mesidor, 56 tackles, 10 sacks. He's been lighting it up in the college football playoffs. 15 tackles for loss. This is my Malcolm Kuntz replacement. I am going to figure out ways to get after the quarterback. I'm going to figure out ways to make life living hell. Why? Think about also who we drafted number 1, Fernando Mendoza. If you want your young quarterback to be able to develop in the best possible way that he can, you also need to be able to build a defense. To me, going out and getting guys that win in the trenches, guys that go out and get after the quarterback is the best recipe for success for the Silver and Black. Let's go to the 4th round here. And reminder, we have 4 picks in the 4th round of the NFL draft. Guess what I decided to do? I'm going to go with more guys on the interior, and I'm going to go with Skyler Gill-Howard, defensive tackle from Texas Tech. The Red Raiders defense was, I think, one of the best defenses in all of college football. I'm not going to lie to you. I was looking at a cornerback here. I was looking at a linebacker, but I decided to go with the person that I felt was the best player on the board. 6'1", 290 pounds, 13 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and a pass breakup. You're going to have Tyree Wilson back. J.J. Pegues, Tonka Hemingway, good players. Thomas Booker's a free agent. Adam Butler, again, somebody who's going to be getting up there in age a little bit. So in my mind, I go, all right, Max Crosby, Skyler Gill-Howard. We're going to sit up here and we're going to talk about Tyree Wilson. But then also, J.J. Pegues, Tonka Hemingway. How are we going to be able to find extra players that can help us and stay fresh on the interior? Yes, you got Jonnu, who's going to be a good player. Thomas Booker's a free agent. Adam Butler is going to be somebody. I know there's 2 pictures there of Lalo. That's on us. But overall, though, I want to be somebody that invests in the trenches. And the reason why I decided to go with the defensive tackle here is simply because I want to invest in those trenches. I want to be able to sit up here and say, I want players that help us get after the quarterback. And if we have extra talent on the defensive line, then so be it. But the other reason why I took 2 defensive tackles and an edge rusher is because I spent a lot of my money in my mind in free agency on a wide receiver. I spent a lot of my money on my mind on the offensive line. So because of that, I didn't have as much money to go get a defensive tackle. I didn't have as much money to go get an edge. So we're going to have to rely on some of these younger players to put this defense together a little bit more. And we're going to have a lot of rotation at the defensive line position. If you do that and you bring somebody that wants to bring some extra pressure, I think that that's a good recipe for success. But the other reason why I went that route, I went best player available. When you have the amount of holes that we do, I decided to go best player available. We got some more round 4 picks and more day 3 picks coming up here on the Raiders Report. Before we get into this, though, are you anybody out there planning on watching some college games? I can't wait to watch Indiana, Oregon. I'm going to be live here on the Raiders Report. Heck, I'm going to be watching Ole Miss and Miami get after it as well. At the end of the day, if you plan on watching some basketball, you plan on watching some playoff matchups, then go get started with our sponsor, Prize Picks, because what awesome feeling that I'm feeling right now, feels good to be right. And I was right about the Raiders moving on from Pete Carroll. And Prize Picks lets you take control. You can find your community on Prize Picks. If you miss fantasy football, I definitely recommend Prize Picks. Also, if you like flexibility, Prize Picks, I believe, is for you. There's a reason why it's available in all 50 states. There's a reason why it is America's #1 fantasy sports app out there. It's because they put their users first. So all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. PrizePicks also accepts most major payment methods, making deposits into your account quick and easy this sports season. Download the PrizePicks app today. Make sure that you use code CLNS to be able to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Let's go now to our other fourth-round pick here, 117. I'm going to go Michael Taaffee. Hopefully that's how you pronounce the name. Safety from Texas. I want to be able to find somebody that can help us in the secondary. I hope and pray, if there are anybody out there that listens, let's please use Isaiah Paul-Amal as a strong safety, which means we need to be able to find somebody that might be able to drop back into coverage. He's a good leader. He's a senior. I did watch a lot of the Longhorns play football, talk to some of our guys here at Chat Sports that like him. But to me, this is a move that we need to be able to make for our safety room. I don't have a lot of confidence in Lonnie Johnson Jr. I don't have a lot of confidence in our free safety room. I still would like for the Raiders to be able to add a true free safety into the mix. But overall, I saw safety. I saw a player that I believe could help us on day one, and I decided to go that route. Let's go another fourth-round pick here. I'm going to go Trey Moore, also from Texas, at the linebacker position. Landon Roberts is a free agent. Devin White is a free agent, and if they bring back Devin White, I'm going to throw an effing fit. One of the other things that I think I'm going to end up doing in a lot of my free agency videos is I'm probably going to talk about the possibility of adding a guy like Devin Lloyd. I think Devin Lloyd's one of the best linebackers available on the open market. Yes, I want to see more out of Tommy Eichenberg. Yes, I want to see more out of Cody Lindenberg. But you add a player like Trey Moore, who, again, I think could do a lot of different things for you at that position. Maybe helps you out on special teams. Maybe he doesn't. But 31 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 3 sacks on the Texas Longhorns. I think that looks pretty good for me. This is where some of y'all might be like, all right, let's get a little bit crazy. I'm going to go here, running back, Desmond Reid from Pitt. Ashton Genty is the bell cow. No doubt about it. Raheem Mostert, though, free agent. Samir White, free agent. Dylan Laube, we just can't keep him around on this roster. But the reason why I wanted to be able to add somebody like a Desmond Reid, because I do think a good value to have with a young quarterback like Mendoza is a safety blanket, is a guy that you can check the ball down to and let him just mix and match. Watch Reid. He's small. He's 5'8". He's 175 pounds. Maybe he could play special teams in the NFL. Again, he's a little bit undersized, but he's got really quick lightning speed, great acceleration, has the ability to catch the football. I don't want to say Amir Abdullah because he was a recent Raider, but like to me, look at how the Pittsburgh Steelers use Kenneth Gainwell, right? And they use him in a multitude of different ways. I'm not asking Reid to be anything more than a third down scat back, than somebody that can catch the football from time to time when Ashton Genty needs a breather. If we're running between the tackles, I want it to be number 2. If we're trying to throw the football to work a 2-minute offense, I think Desmond Reid is at least a player to keep in mind. Let's go now to pick 182. I'm going to go with Domani Jackson, cornerback from Alabama. I would love for the Raiders to bring back Eric Stokes. If we can't bring back Eric Stokes, well, then I'm probably going to try to find a way to invest in a corner a little bit higher up. I believe we have the money to be able to bring back Stokes. I think you can offer him $7 to $8, maybe $9 million. Get him on like a 2 to 3 year deal. You make it happen. I also believe in Darian Porter. I want to see a lot more of these younger guys get more work with the coaching staff that actually knows what the hell that they are doing. But Jackson is a physical player. 6'1", 196 pounds. It's more of a depth move. But to me, it goes, can we get more out of Camryn Richardson? Darian Porter, somebody that I want to see. I'd like to bring back Eric Stokes. So Domani is more of just a depth move from the Alabama Crimson Tide. Let's now go to the offensive line. It's going to be Logan Jones. He's a center for Iowa. Because Will Putnam's a free agent, because I am team, let's bring back Jordan Meredith and put him on the offensive guard, that leaves a little bit of a vulnerability from a backup center position. I love Iowa offensive lineman. He's PFF's one of their highest graded offensive linemen in back-to-back seasons. I think that mentality is a really great mentality, and maybe we are able to get Tyler Lindenbaum, little Iowa brothers coming back together, figuring out a way to play some tough-nosed football, which is what the the Hawkeyes do over there in Big Ten land. But I think that that's an interesting depth move that we could be able to add to our offensive line. But some of you are probably sitting here going, again, Mitch, no offensive lineman. In my mind, I already invested in the O-line in free agency. I ain't taking a quarterback number 1 overall unless that offensive line is solidified. And I believe we have enough money to solidify that offensive line. Let's go with our final pick here in our mock draft, and I'm going to go with a quarterback. I'm going to go with a quarterback that I think's got some upside to him, Taylen Green. I love from what I've seen from him. My guy Trace always hypes him up here. He's a raw prospect. But in the 7th round with the final pick, I'll take a quarterback that I think has, 2 to 3 years, let him mature a little bit. 6'6", 235 pounds. He's really athletic. And if we're going to go with a run-first offense, you let Taylen Green learn a bit. The other reason why I go this route is because the only quarterback on our roster is Aiden O'Connell. So even though we drafted Fernando Mendoza, to me, in my mind, Aiden O'Connell is a good enough leader. He's a good enough veteran to be able to make our quarterback room better. Geno Smith, he's out the door. He's gone. Cam Miller was claimed by the Miami Dolphins, not on the team. Kenny Pickett's a free agent. I ain't going to bring him back. So that means coming into the offseason, the only quarterback we got is Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell's the guy. If you wanted to add another QB, that's going to cost more money. I am confident enough in Aiden to be that backup. So Mendoza's QB1, Aiden O'Connell's quarterback 2, Taylen Green is quarterback number 3. Here's the cool part. You can grade my mock draft. I'll be honest, this one did not come out exactly the way that I was hoping. The one pick that I really wanted to go back and look at was the Skyler Gill-Howard pick. To me, he was the best player on the board. And I should mention to you, I did this mock on PFF, and it's going to continuously change. If you want to grade it A, B, C, D, or F, I would greatly appreciate to hear what you guys had to say. Because when I go back and I look at it, I really wanted to be able to get the cornerback from Duke. And I can't think of his name right now. A little bit undersized guy. I wanted him to fall to 102. He did not fall to 102 to me. So then I just said, all right, I got to get best player available. It was another defensive interior. I'm team building the trenches. So I decided to go that route. First mock draft of the year. There it is. And what the cool part is, you're probably going to get a mock draft from me every single week on this show. The other thing that I'm going to try to do my best of, I plan on going live on Mondays in the offseason. I'm going to call it Raiders Report Mock Draft Monday, where it's going to be me being live. We're going to do mock drafts together. We got the number 1 overall pick. Let's celebrate it. You earned it. I earned it. Raider Nation frickin' earned it. And if you want more draft content from me and my entire gang here, you already know. Hit that subscribe button.